All right, welcome back to Algebra once again, and today we're going to talk about area and surface area, okay? We're going to start off with area, and we first need to figure out what area is. And the last time we talked about perimeter, and perimeter is the length or the distance around a shape. Area is figuring out how much is inside of a shape. And to find area, we need to multiply instead of add. So I've got a couple examples here. We've got a rectangle and a triangle and a circle. Now area is a little bit harder because each shape has its own formula. So for instance, for a rectangle or square or anything with four sides, the area is going to be the length times the width. So for instance, if we made the length 3 and the width 5, then the area would be 15. Okay. Now for area, units have to be squared because we're multiplying two things by itself. So let's say we were doing inches here, it would be 15 inches squared because it's an area. That unit is very important. It helps us figure out what number we're talking about. For a triangle, it's a little bit different, okay? For a triangle, the formula is 1/2 base times height. The base is the side on the bottom, and then the height is the tall part of the triangle. So if we know those two numbers, we can figure out the area of a triangle. Let's make the base here 6 and the height 3. So our area would be 1/2 of 6, which is 3, times 3, which is 9. And once again, because this is an area, our unit has to be squared. Awesome. Now circles, once again, are a little bit different. Circles have to have that pi number in there, otherwise it's not going to work out. And in this time, instead of doing 2 times r, like we did for circumference, we have to do r squared. So let's say our radius for this one is 5. Well, we'd have to multiply that by pi, and we'd also have to square the 5. So what's 5 squared? Well, it's 25. And then we'd multiply it by pi. I'm going to leave it as 25 pi right now, but you could multiply it out, and it would probably be somewhere around 75-ish, maybe 76, because remember, pi is around 3, so it would be around 75. So I'll say it's approximately, that's the approximately symbol, 75. Okay? So that would be the area of all those different shapes. Now, you're going to have to learn some of these formulas, but they're pretty easy, right? The hardest one to remember is this pi r squared one. And once you have that one down, the rest are pretty simple. Now, what people have a harder time with is what's called surface area. And that's when we deal with 3D shapes. Here's one 3D shape I've got written up here. We've got a cube, okay? Now, for a surface area, you're going to have to know a little bit more information. You need to know the height of the 3D object as well as the width and the length. And then you're going to have to make sure that you're adding up all the different areas of each part. See, there's no like set standards formula for a surface area. You basically just have to find the area of each piece. So here we have a cube, and that's the simplest one to do. And on a cube, there's 6 sides. And so there's 3 different things that you can calculate here. You can calculate this square, and this square. And because they're going to be the same on the other side of the cube, you can just multiply that value for area times 2 and then add them all together. So we're going to label them all different numbers, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and so for 1, we're going to have to multiply the width times the length. And there's 2 of them, so we'll multiply that by 2. And then for 2, we'd have to do the height times the length. So height times length, and then there's 2 of those. And then for the third one, it's width times height. And there's 2 of those faces too. So if we fill in some numbers, we can actually solve the surface area of this cube. So let's say that the width is 2, the height is 3, and the length is 2. Okay, so if we were going to actually solve this, we'd have to do this. So for the first face, it'd be 2 times 2, so that's 4. And then we'd have to multiply by 2 because there's 2 of them, which is 8. For the second part, it's height times length, so 3 times 2, which is 6. And there's 2 of those, so that's 12. And then for the final one, it's width times height, and width is 2 and height is 3, so that's another 6 times 2, which is 12. And so that's the area of each of those individual faces of our 3D object. And we add those up. 12 plus 12 is 24, plus 8 is 32. And it's still an area. So we want to have a squared unit. And that's how you do surface area. You just need to find the area of each individual face of the thing that you're calculating. And then you can move on from there. So as long as you remember that you're just trying to find the area of each part of the object, it'll be pretty easy to do. So remember, area is the space inside the shape. Their unit has to be squared, and each shape is a little bit different, but once you learn the formulas, it's pretty easy to do. I hope you learned something from this video about area, and next time we're going to talk about volume. Once we talk about volume, we'll be done with all the review portion of this algebra course, and we'll start moving into the algebra basics. I hope you're excited, because I know I am, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.